Right, so today I'm going to show you how to get explosive growth on YouTube from day one. And to do that, we're going to be looking into someone who's done exactly that with a very simple but genius strategy. His channel is called Briny Heart, and he's gone from 0 to over 120,000 subscribers in 2 months and with only 6 videos. Now, we've gone through many amazing case studies on this channel, but I don't think we've ever seen growth like this. So naturally, I was interested. And I have to admit, at first, I didn't get it. I did not understand how this guy was going viral with every single video in a niche as saturated as personal development and relationships. But after watching his videos a few times, I started noticing the patterns. And I have to tell you, this guy is proper good. So if you're tired of putting your soul into content that nobody watches, stick around because this video is for you. But before we dive into the strategy side of things, let me give you a little bit of context that's hopefully going to make the rest of this video really easy to follow. So as you may or may not know, the formula to make the YouTube algorithm love you is very simple. You need to get people to click on your videos and like your content so much that they stay on your channel for as long as possible. That's it. It's all about 1, grabbing attention, and 2, keeping it. Now, the strategy that Jay, the guy behind Brinyheart, is using is genius because it covers both parts of this equation. So how is he grabbing attention? Well, have a look at my YouTube homepage. What do you see? Well, I don't know about you, but to me, his thumbnail sticks out like a sore thumb. It's so different from everything else. It makes you go like, wait a minute, who is this guy? He's not even trying. And then you click on the video and you see this. First, the 4:3 aspect ratio. Like, no one does this anymore. This was the aspect ratio of all TVs and also the standard on YouTube until 2008 when the 16:9 widescreen was introduced. The fact that he's using 4:3 makes his videos feel different and old school. It almost makes you feel nostalgic, right? And it's not just about the aspect ratio, he's also using old and grainy clips in his videos to achieve the same effect. And then you've got the editing. Again, it's different, time-consuming probably, yes. Technically speaking, not that difficult, but different. And more often than not, you find yourself going back and replaying certain parts of the video to fully appreciate it, because it's hard to take in what he's saying in the voiceover and follow the different conversations on screen at the same time. This is a great way not only to grab attention, but also to keep it. And we'll see more of these strategies that he's using to keep people watching in the second part of this video. But for now, how else is he grabbing attention? Well, let's look at the packaging of his videos because he's doing a few things right. Point number 1 is that his titles and thumbnails complement each other really well without repeating information. This is a really common mistake, especially among new YouTubers, who come up with a title and then repeat the exact same information in the thumbnail. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but they're just wasting an opportunity to add some extra information that makes the viewer go like, man, I need to watch that video. Jay has a different approach. In his case, the text in his thumbnails adds some extra context or contradiction that makes his videos more interesting. For example, in this video, he uses the word introvert in the thumbnail to let you know that his advice is going to work for you even if you're an introvert like him. He could have added that same information to the title, but then the thumbnail would just be repeating the same thing, and he would have wasted an opportunity to add some extra context. Or for example, in his first video, the stop smiling makes you think that he's going to give you some groundbreaking advice, because normally you get told the opposite, like you get told that smiling is important. But actually, if you watch the video, his advice is far from groundbreaking, so that's just a trick to grab your attention. What's also interesting about this title and thumbnail is how he's leveraging input bias. You see, if your viewers think that you've invested a lot of time or even money into producing a video, they're going to appreciate it more because you've done all the hard work for them. Like, they get to skip to the conclusions without having to spend a penny or do any work, so watching the video becomes a no-brainer. And last but not least, all of Jay's titles and thumbnails create more than one question or reason to watch for the viewer. If you see this title, your mind starts going like, wait, did he actually write 100 pages on charisma? Does this guy have no life? And what did he discover? I thought smiling more was good advice. What am I missing? Or if you see this other one, you're like, what's the simple habit? Can it actually make me go from this to this? It looks like I'm missing one step here. What's the step? His title and thumbnail combinations are really effective because they create more than one question in the mind of the viewer and give them more than one reason to watch. So next time you have to brainstorm some title and thumbnail ideas for one of your videos, think about all the questions that your viewer may have about the topic, about your video, and try and create a title and thumbnail combination that gives them more than one reason to watch or that creates more than one question in their mind. Make them feel like they cannot skip your video, okay? Like they need to watch it. So that's how he's grabbing attention. Now, how is he keeping it? Well, his editing is a big part of it. The fact that it's so unique definitely helps. But also, as I said before, you've got all of these conversations happening on screen, And they're very easy to miss if you're not paying attention, so more often than not, you have to go back and rewatch, which does wonders for his retention. But there's more. There's a few more clever things that he's doing to make sure you stay and watch the whole video. The first secret is in his hooks. If you listen closely, you'll notice that most of his hooks have a very similar structure. He normally starts by calling you out with a question or statement to get your attention. Then he introduces an element of storytelling, often in the form of his own transformation. Something along the lines of, I used to be like this and it was a pain, but then I did a lot of research and experimentation and I discovered this simple trick, and now I'm a completely different person and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. And finally, he ends the hook by clearly setting up the value of the video with an outline of the 3 or 4 things that he's going to cover. Here's an example.
Have you ever wondered what it is about someone that just makes them really enjoyable to be around and to talk to? I used to be a social misfit and pretty much no one wanted me around. So naturally, I wrote a document that's almost 100 pages long. After looking at countless lectures, studies, books, interviews and courses, and even experimenting on my own. Doing so, I made some very surprising discoveries, like just how much advice is wrong, as well as 2 of the most straightforward ways I use to become more charismatic and better with people.
This is a killer hook structure. It instantly makes you feel understood and promises you an easy transformation. He's done all the work and laid out an easy path for you to follow in the form of a short, straight-to-the-point video. Don't you think? Well, not really. It's all an illusion, you know? Funnily enough, the only thing in his videos that is straight to the point is the hook. Everything else is the complete opposite. Take this video for example. When you see the title, the main thing you want to know is the habit that improved his social skills, right? Like we can all agree that that's the main payoff. Well, what if I told you that he manages to speak for about 3 minutes, like half the video, without actually saying what the habit is? He starts off by telling you the story of how he discovered the habit. Then he tells you what it did for him, like the transformation that he experienced when he started applying it. Then he tells you what the habit is, but he says that it won't work for you unless you follow 3 steps. And coincidentally, the last step is the most important. And with that, you have to stay and watch the whole video. It's like, you know those Instagram carousels where influencers tease the last photo as being the best or the funniest, making you swipe through all the slides? That's a trick to boost engagement, and he's doing the exact same thing with his videos. He does not give you any answers up front. He'll tell you a story or multiple stories, he'll talk about his transformation or his research, he'll share examples, he'll make you fill in the blanks, he'll lay out steps but keep the most important one for last. And when he does give you the answer straight away, he'll be like, oh yeah, that's the answer, but you know, most people misunderstand it, or something along those lines. And now you have to stay and watch the rest of the video just to make sure that you're not one of those people who are getting it wrong. Honestly, it's genius, but also really frustrating when you realize what he's doing. You don't get the full picture unless you finish the video because he's constantly going off on tangents or distracting you from the main point. And I'm curious to know what you think of this strategy because I've seen other YouTubers use it, but I don't think I've ever seen such an extreme case. Like, if you have a couple of minutes, go to his channel, pick 1 or 2 videos and watch them. You'll see exactly what I mean. I personally don't like it. I find it too much. But the truth is, it works. Beating around the bush, at least to some extent, will improve your retention, but you need to be careful and know when to stop. If you turn your video into one big tangent, you'll start getting more and more comments like this, and eventually people will just skip ahead or stop watching your content altogether. If you like this video and you want to keep learning from the best, please consider subscribing and check out my other case studies. You're going to find lots of valuable strategies that others have used to blow up their channels and that you can adapt to your own content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.